barge, he can actually do this global kind of push, but I still wonder if they can contest Nisha. This was the thing that happened, like in game 1, where Team Secret were all across the map, they were always hunting, and this just created space for their Arc Warden. But now, LGD are armed with Axe, who's very good at just getting in the way and creep skipping out, but the Slark pickup, the panel were iffy about it, we've been iffy about it.
Once again,
can he hit that right timing?
Well, once again, they have this team fight winner in the sense that, like Phoenix drops an egg, Undying lays a tomb. It also secures the lane for Slark, and you love playing with global heroes when you're this assassin, Shadowblade rushing hero, and you actually have stuns as well on LGD. No longer are you completely reliant on a Tiny, who's really not an initiator, more of just burst damage output. Now you've got arguably the best hero on this patch, Axe, along with the Rasta. I like their lineup a lot more. It's just all on Ame, Slark, and maybe Tinker. They've got to have good games, and that will actually shut down the entire Secret lineup.
Zai gets a double hoof stomp into the double impale, and well, you can tip him out. That is going to actually be, well, actually it's 3 bounty runes to the 1. It was only the bottom one where Team Secret were able to really try and contest it, because it was still Chalice, X Nova, and FY that picked up the 3 bounty runes.
Yep.
For LGD.
It'll be interesting to see this mid matchup. I have not seen Tinker versus Arc Warden, but it's important. You can see they actually dodged the Kunkka to top, because you cannot play Kunkka against Tinker. It is a miserable matchup, and maybe would have crushed it.
Yeah, he did crush the start of game 1 too, so makes sense. Give him the respect he deserves. FY on the Shaman, because this is kind of where you ask a question, like, do you have enough push power? Slark, Axe, they're all great gankers. The Tinker's great for split push, but does that actually get you up the hill? Does that help you win the game, or is that where the wards come into play?
It's nice. It's more that LGD's not on a clock like they were in the previous game. And yes, Slark's gonna have a lot of trouble against a 4-position line, but he doesn't fear any of Secret's heroes. There's no pure Slark counter here, especially if he gets up to like a Scotty BKB time.
Man, Zai, X Nova's just hitting him so hard. He had so much stolen strength, combining with the essence shift that Slark gets. You actually have to wonder if Centaur is as strong as he really looks.
Yeah. My concern with Secret, there's no way to deal with Slark BKB and Tombstone down, and there's nothing they can do to itemize or scale until Arc Warden's just 6-slotted for you to be able to apply enough threat that LGD can't then commit fully to a team fight. Not to mention, you have Axe, BKB piercing disable, 3.2 seconds. This is...
Ooh, bottom lane, hell of a lot of damage when you're able to get the hoof stomp out. Zai gets a little bit more space. X Nova, a lot of life on him, had the 12 stolen strength. It's all starting to slip away. That's why Yapso's keeping up the pressure, looking for the first blood, connects on the stun. Ame needs one more hit, and he gets the first blood. As Yapso's attack was still in flight, he'll get the rebuttal, but pounds forward. Ame wants to keep this on his stolen 24 agility.
That's a great trade for the side of PSG.LGD, because now Undying just TP's back in. He's got full health, about to hit level 2. You just continue spamming decays, and Ame got the first blood. He was brought his items as well. You don't need to use Courier. Your Undying, actually, that death is worth, because you give your Slark a Wand recipe and a Wraith Band. This lane is going to be dominated by LGD.
Yapso's looking for an opportunity to try and fight in mid. Now, Nisha is pretty low. I don't know if he really wants to get too close on this. The rocket and the missiles are both coming off cooldown. There's mana for only, well, actually after a bottle charge, he'll have mana for 2, but Yapso's waiting. He's got Hex and Impale available, but as X Nova rotates around, one Decay with a little bit of vision would have given them everything they want. Yapso doesn't really see his opening. Nisha is now finally salved up, but he ends up having it cancelled, walks in range, and has the laser cancel it, so they move up to try and deal with Chalice. He has been creep skipping the crap out of this. Got 10 stick charges available, and now we'll see how much they got. FY's rotated over, the shackles onto SD, but Yapso's there with the Hex. Puppey stacking up the Shadow Poison. There's 6 stacks on top of Chalice, but Puppey, the damage is so high, the pop wasn't enough, but the stun from Yapso, and the damage will be FY versus Yapso. Shackles available, then he can't get the vision around the other side of the tree line.
Which you're totally fine with this. In the meantime, PSG.LGD, Slark is farming a hard camp in addition to that creep wave. You're dominating the bottom lane. You're crushing mid. Nisha hasn't got a CS in a minute and a half. This is the dream start if you're PSG.LGD. You are winning all 3 lanes. And Kunkka is not a hero that really can just take over the map. It's a slow progression for the mid 1 Kunkka. Like, this is not a hero that can just take over. And Slark doesn't fear Kunkka really ever throughout the game.
Zaya's gonna be so careful. X-Nova still hits pretty hard with all that stolen strength, and if he does get pounced, Zaya will be in more trouble. Yapsor's going to come back down to the bottom lane to try and help out. Not a lot of items to work with, just boots in the wind lanes, but that's enough movement speed to get down to help. Zaya gets the double hook stomp, but then there is your... Okay, not a leash. Zaya just breaks free so quick.
You're all good though. It's all about controlling the lane, ensuring Ame keeps free farming. Once he's level 6, then your Undying can shift, maybe look to pressure Kunkka, play with your axe. But for now, you're satisfied with this. Whenever your safe laner has more denies than the enemy off laner, you are golden. And this is part of the reason I feel like Centaur as a 4 makes a lot more sense. It's just not the strongest laner, but when you're able to rotate, I figured we'd see Shadow Demon Centaur just kind of taking over the map. But
yep.
Secret wants this Lion to counter Slark. It's just that relationship goes both ways, because the Shadow Blade Slark opens, pops ult, Yapsor's just going to die in a leash.
Battle for 5-minute runes. LGD are posturing it already. Yapsor will get the stun off so he can take the bottom rune, but it's the top lane where the bigger battle is coming on. Charles able to get the call off. FY, he's already got the bounty rune, and they'll take mid-one's life as well, or will they? Puppey, mid-one, get some space. Shackles, FY, well, he's going to let it go on the SD. Mid-one wants to help out. Torrent will fly forward. It goes towards Chalice, not towards FY. Then he doesn't have enough mana for the shock, but with a battle hunger, Puppey will fall. It has been a hard game. He's level 2. 5 minutes into this matchup.
Yep, the lanes for LGD. Rasta's underrated. He's got boots in level 3, 82 damage. Not to mention, this is FY, arguably the best player out of China. And I love seeing him on heroes that can have an impact like Rasta. I feel like he's going to be able to not only rotate, but also scale as the game progresses.
Ame. He doesn't want to go on Zai. That's the one that's going to be posturing over on
Look
Undying.
mid, here comes FY.
Yep, they're looking for it. In through the rear, FY. He's going to try and battle against Nisha with these clones. Have they got the damage right underneath the spirits? Already maybe get some distance. So Nisha and X-Nova will both fall. The clone gets mopped up as well.
It's a lot of gold. Really well done by FY. That's the power of Rasta. Not only are you strong in lane, you can find kills so easily with that 2-point shackle.
Oh, X-Mark. They're going to try and combo with this TPing in Lion. Able to land the stun. Didn't really have enough damage for this. They didn't commit the ghost shift of mid-1. So it doesn't really look like it. Mid-1 able to get the cleave damage into Charles. He'll hide in the tree lens for the moment. Calls a fireball. He's managed to get the creep wave plus Yapsor, but here comes the shift. Here comes the commitment. Ame, however, has done the rotation, but Puppey is here. Gets the disruption off. A little bit of mistiming. They don't get the torrent right.
I'm not sure I like this rotation from Ame. I would have much preferred him just continuing to bully this Centaur out of lane. He has 3 levels on him.
I suppose Undying can just do it himself, right? If he keeps the decay going against Zai, he'll be fine.
And they're just lane swapping. This is very interesting. I'm not sure if he can get away with this, but it looks like Secret's gonna look to possibly seed the lane. Kunkka does have a hard time against the Slark, but
this does also make sense though if Slark wants to start invading into the Dire Jungle. That high movement speed that he gets from the Shadow Dance just allows him to close the distance, potentially find Arc Warden if he wants to bail off the lane. Meanwhile, Charles just misses the call onto Zai. Next Nova's like, it's 16 decay. He's down to 700. I'd say he's down to 717 HP. There's still a Centaur. But Charles looks for him, uses the battle hunger for the movement speed, but Zai will run it off. While up on the top lane, FY gonna get banished up. There is an easy combination here from the rest of Team Secret. FY very much isolated. They drop the tombstone underneath the tier 2 tower. Zai, he's so low, the battle hunger is not killing him off. Yapsor's going to arrive. They're still underneath the tombstone. The Team Secret want to fight, and Chalice is way too much damage. They're tanking the tower, and with tombstone or not, it's just not working.
I just don't get this lane swap, Toby. I felt like PSG.LGD, you just preserve the status quo, you're going to be great.
Yeah,
you lost 3 for none. They will know that there's a ward up top. Ame scouted it out when he was retreating, ditching his dead Rasta, but that's all you earn out of this rotation.
Yeah, it does seem very odd to say the least. Maybe you can understand some of the concept behind it, but Team Secret's movements, as we saw in Game 1, they're almost predictive of where LGD is going to go. And yes, you've just played the same draft, or the same core hero, the Arc Warden, 2 games in a row. You understand its weakness, but they just changed the tempo. Same hero, played a different way. Or played the same way, just in different positions.
You were talking about Slark invading Arc Warden jungle. You don't do that until Shadowblade, and that's how you want to play this hero. Accelerate as fast as possible, have Aquila, Juan, Treads, Shadowblade. It's go time. That's when you start rotating and staying in enemy jungle, playing off map. But you're lowering your timing now to a point where YapzOr is going to be level 6 pretty soon, if not off this rotation, but the level 10 tome, minute 10 tome. Then you die once on Slark. There's a big difference between a 13-minute Shadowblade and a 16 or 17-minute Shadowblade.
Calls out, Stampede going to be used. They're looking for the target. The easier one, which will be FY. He's able to get both the Hex and the Shackles up, but his YapzOr and mid one both come down. Support must rotate as the Conquer ship. It hits perfectly. Now it's Slark's turn. Looking for a kill. He doesn't have the leash down yet. He's looking for a better target, and it'll be mid one. Hold him in position. Call still available from Chalice. They got the secondary control back, but here comes Zai. No hook stop, just double-edged damage, but there's still not enough. Arme has stolen so much essence that he'll actually burn through Zai and X-Nova, chasing mid one underneath the tower. The battle hunger will not be enough, however, as Chalice looks towards the other support. He's looking for YapzOr. I say the other 3 position. The Undying minions are chasing him. Chalice has the movement speed, but it's just wasted time. Arme would love to try and find this kill. He needs the money for it, so YapzOr can continue with the disable. But here comes Arme finally with the burn damage, but still YapzOr dodges and evades. Come off it! Just run, run, run! Get away! The stun! There it is! YapzOr can't escape death like that.
Yeah. The one thing we haven't really touched on, though, is that mid-match. You're going to have bots finished soon on maybe. He's had a relatively free game. Nisha will be closing in on the Necro book, but certainly favoring the Tinker. A lot of the CS on Nisha is jungle camps.
They're prepping for a gank up on top. Puppey. Oh boy. On the receiving end of so much. Marsh Machine's going to try and give some cover, but there goes your disruption. Stampede forward, and they do get the hoof stomp out, but then the Shackles from FY try and create space, but YapzOr, the finger is available on LGD. Losing maybe. FY's also on the run. Zai hoof stomp of Kuda in just a second, while on bottom lane. Mid one able to get the kill on X-Nova. FY playing the tree quite nicely. Gets the mouse left force down. That's a lot of damage, all being focused into YapzOr, but YapzOr outruns it after they already get the kill.
It's just so strange. LGD playing a bit sloppy. They're not making team movements. They're just sort of playing reactive Dota. You've got Tinker and Slark. Bots, Shadowblade are coming up soon. There's no need to make these just risky plays.
The last 2-3 minutes have just been looking at Arme moving between lanes.
Yeah.
Just looking for some kind of opening before the Shadowblade is completed. Yes, the movement speed lets him move quickly, but you're right, like, this shouldn't be happening until he's got Shadowblade, but he TP'd off the bottom lane. Like, where was he going to get the farm
Well,
for
not
this?
just that now you have Axe and Slark in the same lane. Like, Chalice was level 6 when he rotated down here. He just hit level 8. It's been 5 minutes.
Yep. Like, if you got a Blink Dagger out of it, it'll make more sense.
No one's pressuring the off lane. You've got an Undying walking up there now, but, like, you're matching your supports with your supports. It just doesn't make sense. Keep your Axe up top. Protect Ame Slark. Let him accelerate and eventually get up to that critical item.
There will be a change, however. Wow,
He's dead.
There's 2 on top of him! Moving forward, maybe thought he was fine. Nisha under the bubble, won't be safe. Maybe he actually finds the kill with the edge of the Martian Machines, but Slark's in so deep with no way out. X-Nova will help him out. The Soul Rebuke's aggressively on the YapzOr disruption there from Puppey, but there's enough life on Slark just to outrun it. He is lucky, Arme, to get away with his life.
I assume maybe he was baiting there, assuming that Ame would like be able to land the kill on Arc Warden. He was right, but he was rearming right on top of that double Spark Wraith.
Yep.
Pops like a pinata.
He just had the BTs delivered as well. Like, it's like, oh, this is your moment to get aggressive, just like we see now. The pounds forward, but it's so far away from Puppey. Nisha will TP in. Arme's on the run, and yep, with Stampede, Puppey just runs straight through and look for any extra damage. But the Kaylee's gives something back, but that double stun! YapzOr curving it like wanted. Goes for even more, but the support is arriving from LGD. They TP in the whole enchilada. All 5 heroes from LGD come and Secret walk away. Victory is theirs in this conflict.
So I've watched a lot of games with the coach of Secret, Sunby, and he's pretty chill when he watches, but his commentary for the last 3-4 minutes is probably something along the lines of, well, that's pretty good for us. That's pretty good for us, too. What's going on here? Because why is Slark diving the tower for the second time in 2 minutes? There's an Axe that was free farming the bottom lane. He'll have a blink soon, but like this boggles my mind, Toby. Neither of those heroes has a stun. Puppy looks like a super pro by just walking away. You turn around with the Stampede. Great TP support from the Arc Warden to buy just enough time for that excellent stun from YapzOr. A true Lion player. You gotta click round.
Here you go. Aggression into a leash and chasing Zai underneath the tower. This is what they wanted to do, right? Until mid-1 and YapzOr turn around, get aggressive. Chalice, he wants to dunk on Zai, but Zai is nowhere near the threshold just yet. You X, you Torrent, you Boat, and everything will almost connect onto Chalice.
In the meantime, FY took bot tower. That's the Tinker bots as well. You actually have this ability to just bring yourself into a fight, but they still don't have that Shadow Blade on Slark, and it is working to an extent. They're slowing down Nisha. But
Sentry. Xnova's just looking for the D ward at the moment. He obviously won't be able to keep his own Observe ward up for a little bit longer, but you're right, like, this is that pushing power that LGD has. The Shadow Shaman wars to create space. The top 3 net worth still belong to LGD. For all these divings, for all these weird shenanigans, we just like, I question this a little bit. LGD still hold the lead, and they have a 73 win probability according to Dota Plus. All right.
It's Tinker Slark. You're not on a clock, so I guess I'll agree with the concept PSG.LGD is executing. I'm just not sure I'm about the execution.
It's sending a message to Team Secret. It's like, we are going to be aggressive. You have to stick together. You have to create space. They go for the battle of the Rouge, the double stun, the finger, the fire! Woo! Crushing! FY dies at the bottom river too.
They had a ward, Toby. They have a ward above and to the right. They had full vision of that.
Bored. Charles is locked in the trees. He can call to get a little bit of extra armor, but they will burn through him. This is 4 heroes dying. You know that advantage that we were talking about? It just went to Secret.
And, you know, credit Secret for the way they're playing. This is how you have to utilize their draft. Tons of cheap, low cooldown, low cost abilities that provide stun, lockdown, and if you chain them like they just did at that rune, you're going to be able to find kills no problem. And I was talking about how Slark will beat Lion, Tinker beats Lion, but if YapzOr is able to get a drums aid, like look at his net worth. He's 1,000 behind Chalice, who was backlaning for the first 6 minutes of this game. He had a 5-minute Vanguard, and look, they have a ward. They see YapzOr.
Yep.
They're just tunnel vision. They get torrented. There's a stun, a hex, the finger burst damage. Puppy even was visible, as they do have that ward as well. But mid-one's like...
Okay, so they saw it coming, yet they still couldn't react. They're going to attempt something here, LGD, with a 3-man smoke up. The Blink Dagger is on the axe. He doesn't have Blade Mail yet, but Zai revealing his position next to the Creepway. But look what Team Secret has already. Mid-1 and Puppy hiding behind the tower. Even if you initiate, you won't get what you're looking for. Nisha starting up his bomb. The Hand of Midas is done. 16 minutes in. That's after he got the level 1 Necro book as well. This is problematic. The Shadow Blade hunting from Ame finds absolutely nothing apart from ability to pressure the bottom lane.
And it's 16.5 minutes, Tobes. He could have had this 12-13 if he just sits bottom lane and tries to accelerate, but he was trying to make space, buying creep waves for his axe, who now has a Blink Dagger, sure, but it's going to be harder to use it because, to your point, like Nisha, he has Midas, he has Necro. Like, this is where you want to be on Arc Warden, and he picked that up before the Slark got the item required to start hunting him.
You also see the change in momentum coming in from the Slark with just his item mindset. He had Echo Saber queued up, he switched to BKB. He's just trying to find out the sustain in the fights. LGD are looking for this kill. They'll get the call over on Nisha. That's the real one with the Tombstone down, but Stampede, he walks away. Zygus double launch stop. The wards are perfect. YapzOr thought he was going to be good, but he'll just be dead. The Mass 7 wards will finish the job, and they Culling Blade. Give them the extra river speed because maybe he's in trouble. Initiated on by mid-1 as well as Puppy. They just isolated him, and now the call. Chalice missed it. He actually didn't connect onto Zai. It looked a good range. The Shackles, that's a long range. Mid-1 underneath the tower. Ame, he's trying to decide who to go on. It will be mid-1 finally. Supports here from the Tinker with the laser, with the rocket. Mid-1's got so much life with that toggle. Finally, they'll bring him down. Team Secret being heavily pressured between their mid-towers.
That was huge for LGD because they get the kill on Ame as well. You said he would go for the BKB instead, and I agreed with that decision, but all of a sudden you've got this influx of 1,500 gold. Maybe you can go for that next build-up item, look to continue scaling. They take out Nisha. That's huge for the side of Secret, or LGD, sorry. They have to buy back on Tinker, but he's not really the win condition, and he secured those kills along with some tower pressure. I think you're fine with that if you're PSG.LGD.
Yep. They just need to keep that momentum rolling through. They can't They can't afford to keep giving these 3 kills over to Team Secret or these lost team fights. They need the Blade Mail on Axe. We'll have a look at this engagement once again. So they start up, popping off Nisha, but then so quickly out.
FY, like, not giving Amsor too much time to react. Fake cast the wards on the high ground, finds the kill. I mean, last game we saw him play a Pugna. What does that do? Shove lanes, eventually feed. They give, when you have a superstar 4 position, you give him a playmaker. You let him work for you, and all of a sudden, you've got a roster that can find solo kills and towers. There's a lot of people that could learn from the way PSG.LGD drafted right now.
Can't believe that call up from Challenge actually didn't connect on time as well.
Yeah.
But mid one, this toggling, so good, great space created. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough for him.
That's the issue with the Secret draft, right? They need space in fights, and they just need time. Nisha's their real source of damage output, and if there's suddenly a tombstone and the lion's dead, there's no team fight for Secret.
Initiation, bottom lane, Arme's going to jump forward. Yapzor's nearby, they'll start with a stampede, but X is out from FY. They don't have the shackles, though. So Tombstone is dropped and Secret walk away, but there's 5 heroes from Secret on bottom at the moment.
Yep, but you can see how Secret just can't commit through Tomb. They're trying to find skirmishes, quick pickoffs, chasing for more. And I'll be honest, half their kills LGD just straight up handed to them, but they still have a tough task ahead of them if they want to close out this game.
Okay, they have an observer ward looking at Puppey. This is the Bounty Runes once again. Puppey will not take the fight, however. The Bounty Runes will get to split.
And bear in mind, the BKB timing on Slark, that's when it's go time. But you still got to be concerned. You catch a Hex running over a lonely sentry, you might just get 100 to 0, no problem.
FY, Torrent is going to connect from mid one. He's not looking to follow up. FY looked like he was more posturing, trying to just show, oh yeah, I got like 3 heroes in the bottom lane ready to fight you and get some kind of response out of Secret to open up the space like this on top lane. Arme going after Zai. Puppey's in the neighborhood, a quick pounce away. He's got the distance.
We've got Blink up on maybe Tinker as well. He'll finish the Aether Lens in just a few moments, probably his next cycle. There it is.
Well, Arme, you're coming in again. You can pounce down, he'll break free of any abilities, but then double Spark Rays in front while in bottom lane it's X-Nova, bottom rune, and Arme is trying to be the big one if they can kill him off. But they can't do it, they can't lock him down.
No.
Not while you've just got maybe spamming rocket after rocket after rocket.
Yeah, and your only real way of effective lockdown is the Yapzor Hex, and he was preoccupied making sure that the Undying went down on the bottom rune. And if he's not there, there's no real way for a Shadow Demon Centaur Kunk to ever 100 to 0 a Slark. They'll eventually get the Dark Pact off.
LGD is doing a really good job of making sure they can get rid of any vision the Team Secret have. That's the other big advantage of Slark. Walked right over the top of that Dire Observer Ward, and he knows. And they're going to remove it. Dire Vision is pretty dark for Secret. In fact, non-existent. X marks the spot. Mid one's looking for some space. Slark, well, they're going to go on it. The call is out. The X can't bring it back in time. And now LGD with a tombstone down. They run forward. They just dunk. And with the high movement speed, they go from one to the next to the next.
That's the PSG.LGD I'm talking about. You find that initial kill, drop the tomb, and boom, you can chase for more, no problem. They have the lockdown this time. They have what has to be an answer to Arc Warden if there are any. And now it's the time for them to start starving the map. Look at the wards they place off of that. Great job by X-Nova. Look at the two, all the pressure they now have in the enemy jungle.
Towards mid, Sai able to get the hoof stop off. FY just hung around. Chalice looks to go for his own quick jump in. He'll find the Centaur wall runner. X-Nova into the ultimate, but what's he really going to do here? Tinker has arrived once more. The Secret back up behind their tier 2 tower.
Yeah, the cooldowns to watch in this game are the Centaur Stampede and the Undying Tombstone. Those are what give you want LGD. They want to drop Tomb and find a fight around it. Secret, you want to Stampede to counter initiate or most likely use it as a getaway car. Get the hell away from that big rock.
I was actually looking for the other timing too, which is the Mass Serpent Ward from the Shaman. He had him up and probably was waiting for the rest of LGD to give him that buffer and let the wards take out these towers, reduce the area the Team Secret can play in, and reduce Nisha's farm ability. It may be also the reason why you see the change between Game 1 and Game 2. He went for the BTs as opposed to finishing up the full Mjolnir.
Yeah, this is a game where it's far more, it's about map control, right? You're not this free win lane push that LGD has to overcommit to deal with. They have a Tinker. They don't worry about their lane so much, and you're going to be hunted by this Slark that just picked up a BKB. Ame ready to rock and roll, and look at the vision that they get to play around. A ward just below that hill and above it as well. They're not going to get sentried most likely, and this is where you want to play if you're PSG.LGD.
Team Secret, they almost looked like they were grouping up for a smoke. Yep, there's Zai. Out too far, the call is there. And maybe we'll try and provide the extra bit of damage underneath the Mars. There's no way they can get closer, but they go with the mass serpent boards. The double stun, they have the finger. It's the same combo. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Use it again and again and again and again.
Just an unfortunate fight timing. Ame was playing the bottom lane. I feel like that's got to be a dead part of the map now if you're PSG.LGD. Let the Tinker deal with it. But if Ame's not there to connect like we saw him do on the Lycan in game 1, yeah, they lost, but that's the sort of fight you're looking for. Get the tomb down, get the wards down. If there's a Slark coming in from the backside, he's cleaning up the Lion, no problem, and then he's forcing the Arc Warden out of the game. But this is a BKB Slark. He wants to be finding team fights, or at the very least, somebody to start smacking.
And he's not even going in for, like there's no movement back to the Echo. He's going directly for a Skadi as the next one. So it's really tanky, big frontliner, tank through any kind of initial combination the Team Secret try and pop. But that's not your scary Slark. That's not your slap with the Echo Saber. Shift that essence and then just build up the momentum kind of Slark.
Yep.
But as you said, like they're not on the clock, not like game 1. They can still buy space. The gold and experience is very close. It's within 1,000 on both of it. So no team is ahead. It does feel like this game is a lot harder for LGD than it had to be, though.
For sure. And the timings we're looking at, you're going to have an Ags on Tinker finished up pretty soon. That's incredibly effective against Arc Warden because the laser will split to the clone as well. It functions as a hero unit. The concern is once MKB is picked up by Nisha, you fear nothing.
Mid 1, he has the Invis Room, breaks the smoke. Charles have to get the blink call off. Double sentry to a planet, and the tombstone's down too, but saving Puppy. He's there, but the torrent is not, the whole Stampede back out, not at the right time. And now Zai hunting down, maybe, trying to remove this Tinker effect from the back line, and this isolates the Undying. Mid 1 just walks it off, toggles it off, everything off, and now Ame, maybe he can get to the back lines, looks towards Mid 1, gets the pounds forward. He's splitting up the fight at the moment, but where again? Whereas the BKB is already on cooldown and now isolated, fingered, drained. They've got the kill. Mid 1's got a double up. They're not done yet. Chalice is isolated on the hill. He'll get a double call. No spin will really save Chalice here, unless he can get some space to blink out, and that ain't gonna happen either. Yapsaw with that range of the stun, so huge. And how does LGD not come out on top of that fight?
Secret is just straight up outplaying PSG.LGD right now. Ame gets the BKB off, misses the pounce because the Stampede came out at the right moment. 7-8 seconds as BKB is not being utilized to attack any heroes, and then Puppy hits him with the Purge that pierces BKB and is uncleansable. He is forced to then pounce away. 0 in just anything in the fight from Ame. He goes back in and gets caught by the stun during his Invis. The Hex on top, and the Glimmer Capes as well from Puppy were critical. You can't take anybody down, and you can watch how this fight begins. It's perfect from Chalice. They're going to get the tomb down. It's all good. But what is Ame doing on the backside? Swing and a miss.
I'm running. I'm trying to chase. I'm trying to find a kill, but they don't even get Mid 1 out of this. The bubble comes down from Nisha, provides the protection.
And there's the Purge, and all of a sudden Ame is completely isolated. He's now going to come back into the fight, but Tinker's got to cycle through. Maybe he's not going to be here for another 4 or 5 seconds. What are you doing, Ame? This is not going to work. And once again, we saw Puppy save himself with a Glimmer. Now he just pops out on Mid 1. Really well timed by Yapsaw to ensure he'd have the Hex up after.
Found a target in towards mid, but he doesn't get the call off. They'll get the leash, however. Zion locked in for the moment. Yapsaw wants to probably land the stun, lines it up, but there goes just Stampede. Sends the ship, and all connect, but there's not enough follow-up damage from Team Secret. They don't want to go down into this just yet. Tombstone's being planted. They'll get the X marks of the Chalice. Mass Serpent Wards. It's a good drop. Mid 1, however, saved by the Glimmer Cape. And then Chalice, double call, got both the niches. Hex up very quickly by Yapsaw. Follow-up stun. Ame just jumps in, able to get the control again. But how much damage does he take? He just hits into Nisha, but how long can he stand here? Wants to run away, pounces out, but the follow-up is still there. Maybe can do a little bit more, but he can't do enough. The rest of his team instead just rockets out any kind of vision. He'll jump away and TP under the Dire Observer Ward. But LGD, Secret is so low, but they just can't finish the job.
I don't really know how to commentate on this one, Toby.
That's not a good sign.
Secret's doing a great job of kiting, utilizing their short stun cooldowns. Like, the coordination is absurd.
Zai, he was guessing. He was guessing where maybe was.
If PSG.LGD are going to win this game, they have to have a much higher degree of execution. They're finding good initiations, but they don't have that same coordination. They're not actually finding kills, and every time that tomb gets dropped, Secret kites away from it. They had the stampede in that engagement, and then all of a sudden you're still forcing a fight, but your big spells are no longer able to be used. The wards were squandered as well off to the left.
Roshan belongs to Team Secret. In the space that was created, they just go to work. And now the Aegis, the Immortal. It is in the hands of the Arc Warden. He is getting well out of control. But at the same time, PSG.LGD, they can slow things up. They are running at Tinker. They do have that threat of at least the gank from Slark. So Secret have to stay together, which makes it very difficult to deal with these side lane pushes that maybe he's able to achieve.
Just gonna get harder and harder for them. We saw this in the first game where you'd think LGD would have the easier time doing Roche, but Secret claims the first Aegis. It's already hard enough to kill Nisha. Now you'll have to do it twice, 3 times if you count the clones.
He's found. Oh, did he? Did he see? He didn't see him. Do you see him now? Do you see him? Do you smell him? Like, no, blind. That's fog in your eyes.
It's going to be a Hurricane Pike finish by Nisha, just continuing to scale, 3,000 ahead of the game at the moment, but the big concern is the Ame Slark, man.
Look at that swing. So, in the course of 15 minutes, you've managed to swing at about 30%.
Predictions can't account for play, Toby.
That's very, very true. How many times did we see a draft during the group stage? Like, you know, this team should actually win. Woohoo! Zai.
He might find
he's
him.
Looking for him. Stampede down into the trees, but Zai begins his own TP out.
Space created.
Yeah, no disable on the Tinker. He's actually gone for more damage. He's gone for the Dagon build. So they are really looking just to try and pop somebody, but this saving grace is the Glimmer Cape from Puppey has saved heroes time and time again.
Once again, you can see the theories of the way these teams have to play the team fights. LGD, you need to strike hard and fast, have the tomb, find that first kill, chase down for more. Secret, you're just trying to kite and stall, and eventually you're going to catch someone in a stun combo. They're going to go down. You're also the only team with real save. You've got the Disrupt like we saw in the previous fight. You have the Glimmer Cape. They can easily just kite back. Soon you'll have a Stampede that's going to have the added benefit of reducing all damage taken by your team by 40%. And I love that decision from Zai.
Zai's gonna be ready to jump again blind, and he was right on the money. But maybe blinks a fraction of a second beforehand. Maybe so quick.
And it's so cool. He skips the Crypts in this game because you don't really need it. You'd think that the Undying might be enough, but since wards aren't affected by block mechanics, you just rely on the bubble, which is actually a hard counter to the Rasta wards like we saw in that last engagement.
Speaking of Rasta wards, they're trying to push out the bottom lane with a double catapult wave. So looking for an attempted trade. Slark was able to deny that mid tower. So there's something back, and the catapults, not enough damage to kill off the tier 2. It's within deny range on the bottom lane too.
I just can't believe Zai is as farmed as he is, even with Chalice. 1, 1, and 21. What a stat line.
Not too shabby. Zai is also getting very close to that Aghanim Scepter. Once that's up, like, how is LGD even meant to fight?
Well,
like, their advantage is they can still keep removing vision of Team Secret. The Slark gives them that. Even if Ame's ability, like, in the team fights, doesn't look like he's anything. But at least in the downtime, he's a deep ward machine. And Tinker just has to keep creating the space in the meantime, but then looking everywhere.
Yeah. It's going to get harder and harder to do that as that game progresses, though. Shadow Demon as well. Not a traditional Tinker counter, but you can find him in the trees with the Shadow Poison. If you land a Disrupt, he's going to go down 100% to one of your friendly stuns as well.
They're sentry warding up at the trees. They want to make sure if this Slark gets aggressive, he can't instantly they can't instantly get rid of the ward. And Puppey's looking for him too. Like, he's dropped a sentry ward, but he's walking around with the gem.
Oh, they missed the taunt, or sorry, they missed the X on Zai, so he's gonna have to walk all the way back. They were trying to just get him a quick port to base, come back with the Ags, but You can see the head shake, caught sleeping, and that's going to prevent Secret from looking to pressure further for this tier 2 tower.
Exactly what space that's going to buy. Like, it's helping Arme have time to finish up an S and Y, but he's also going in an S and Y in his third item.
Exactly. Does that item even matter at this stage of the game?
Good question. Is it like to try and what? Counter the movement speed? Counter what? Like,
no clue.
Like, I suppose, like, you didn't really want to go Lincoln's on him to try and stop that purge from connecting. There's too many things that can help break it, but it doesn't feel good. But Team Secret, they want to fight. They have Aghanim Centaur available, 4 heroes smoked up. Nisha's coming in behind him, but there's no tier 2 tower, so LGD, they don't have to be outside their base.
Look at that item just picked up by Nisha.
Over, careful how far you want to go out.
Tinker is no longer a way to answer Arc Warden, as both he and his clone will be hitting 75% of their attacks. And I point to that purchase of Ame on the BKB. If he connects for that team fight that he missed, maybe you can understand and identify the purpose, but now it just feels like he's going to fall off. He's behind mid one, who's just been hunting heroes the entire game.
The Mass Serpent wards are down. Maybe he's trying to toss up if he actually wants to have a crack at mid one. Mid one just tossing ship out. All right. 4-man smoke up from Team Secret from the bottom rune. They were able to find the DD. Those Mass Serpent wards brings the tower low. It's at least some level of harassment from LGD that makes Secret think twice.
It's still a game PSG.LGD can win. They have a Tinker, they have a Slark. All it takes is one big axe call, a Rasta Shackles, a good tomb. They have so much lockdown and so many ways to punish potential mistakes from Secret.
FY, get the hell out of there. He's going to blink over him. He doesn't do it. The Hex is out. FY will die. But he was able to steal one of the bounty runes. Oh, boy.
What?
Tinker able to get down into the river. Rearm, blink, TB. He's home. He's home.
That's got to get your heart racing if you're maybe.
Maybe even get Charles' heart racing if he doesn't get out of here too fast. Mid one, looking for the torrent. The blink up will work. He didn't get the X mark spot. But with Shaman down, Team Secret, maybe they feel confident enough to push up. They don't have that Aegis anymore, but they do have a Daedalus on the Kunkka. One swing, one cleave. That could hit real hard into LGD. Could cause them some problems.
Look at this, and they're pushing on the catapult wave, something we've talked about a lot. 2 catapults start spawning at 30 minutes. You can utilize them, you force Glyph, they get half damage on that mid-tier 3. You take that if you're Secret. It's all about chip damage. It's very difficult to close games against a Tinker, but minimize your ability to make mistakes. Keep accelerating on Nisha.
Oh, we'll get to watch this moment again. Quick blink. That rearm timing to get the instant blink out between the attack of the Centaur. It's a pretty low cast time, like it's 0.75 seconds to get the rearm.
Oh, hang on, they're invading.
Yeah, Slark's running up. They have a perfect Observe Ward. No, they don't. Just got dewarded. They have another Observe Ward up on top of the hill. Zai able to blink up quickly. Goes into Stampede. Chalice jumps forward. He was looking for the call, but he found nothing apart from now. A wet nose. Pulled down the BKB protecting him. Massive force from FY. Nice control. Arc Warden in trouble. The LGD. They just focus him. The call is there too. Kunkka can't really do much. Zai leashed up forever. That's that plus 3 seconds. He couldn't run away. Mid one. He's low. X-Nova as well, but they get that kills. Team Secret. They have 2 heroes without buyback. That's why Chalice is hunting for even more. They want to open up Team Secret.
That is the Tinker Undying factor. You don't need a ward on the high ground. You could see X-Nova just waddle over. He puts the tomb down, 5 heroes getting hit by zombies. That means 5 heroes getting hit by rockets, by lasers, tons of vision, and all of a sudden you can't fight anymore. A huge taunt from Chalice. Team fight over.
Oh, they'll see Shadow Demon, the Hex from Yapsor was the only thing to save Puppy them, but FY wants to go for his own Hex. Turns into Yapsor. The call is out. The Lion is controlled and brought down now 3 heroes from Team Secret who do not have buyback available. They're going to push the issue here. PSG.LGD have come in and Puppy, one laser, he gets hit so hard, goes in for a disruption. At least tries to make a couple of copies of the slide to turn things around, but would you believe it? LGD are looking to try and take this mid-rack. Zai ready for another jump in. Stampede's available without the Arc Warden. They probably don't feel like they can defend this. Puppy needs to make more clones. Zai will need to create a little bit of space. The jump wasn't there from the Axe, however, but they tombstone it. It's already back up for LGD, and they just keep beating into the melee rack. 1 second to Kunkka. forward till the Arc Warden. Can they defend? They've got so many marshal ways, but now the call, the control is problematic for mid one. They bring him, no, it's X-Nova, the one to go down. Arme will run away, they double bubble the melee racks. And they do not find the kill, the timing of those abilities.
That was great heads-up play by mid one. He X's himself back to base before TPing and gets the BKB off so that he can't be bursted down, but tanks the damage that would have killed his racks. Really, really well played by the second player to hit 10k MMR, and obviously a Malaysian player. The crowd certainly behind him.
Yeah, it's those beautiful plays that actually gets everyone to love you. And Team Secret, that is one hell of a hole. 3 heroes who were dead for so long, but it also exposes the weakness of PSG.LGD, right? Like, yes, you're swinging this advantage back up, the net worth's kicking up, the win probability, this is like a swing set right now. Like, we're not going to stay on one side or the other, but the fact that they just can't beat down the racks.
Well, to an extent, but they also didn't have cooldowns at the time, and they tried to kill mid one and got this close. It demonstrates, though, how much easier it is for PSG.LGD to win fights, though. Secret thus far has been playing so much better, but will it continue?
FY, the smoke breaks. They want to pop the Tombstone Observer Ward, gives the extra information. FY able to get the Hex, but then they jump over, finding the real target. But then again, the saving grace from Puppey. He goes up the hill, the Stampede can't get mid one away. Again, the leash holds him in position. Charles doesn't have a lot of life to fight with, as mid one is still there. Zai finally brought down, and they charge forward. PSG.LGD right on top of Conker. Mid one, leash, stun, control, the stun from Yatso, and Nisha,
the target's
he's
again!
on the back, pumping them down! Nisha has a triple kill, LGD just cannot reach the damage of Secret.
Any other team would crumble there, Toby, but somehow Secret managed to turn that into a miraculous 4v1, or 4-1. I cannot believe they managed to execute that. That was like 4 toggles.
It took so long to bring down Zai. Mid one was on solo life, but it was that early damage as well. Chalice just couldn't be involved. But watch Puppey and Yapsor, they're the ones that made this work.
And look at Puppey, like utilizing that Centaur X to get the positioning, then right back down the hill. A great bubble. Nisha's got his clone on the high ground, just continuing to pound in auto attacks. The Tomb and the wards, but look at Secret. They kite away and then look to turn. Their stuns get spammed out, and all of a sudden, somehow, they win the fight. And that smoke, they have a DDR cord. This is an immediate Roche. Tinker's dead for 101 seconds.
Well, immediate Roche is a little slower Roche. And with the double damage through, Nisha will still finish the job. Now, Yabso was just watching. He has to regenerate with his Tranquils. My lord, LGD are on the ropes. That swing hits so hard the way of Team Secret. It's all coming back their way. The gold is good. The XP is even better. And now they come down the mid. Kill off the Arc Warden clone with the X-Mark. Torrent pulled back. Ship's coming down. Charles is in trouble. Never even burned his BKB. Buyback's available. X-Nova's got the Tombstone trying to help him. Shackle out. Here comes your buyback. The pounds forward. Arme, he whips everything. That net catches no fish.
How did... And somehow mid one got out of there too.
Yeah.
They're 5 gone. And
how? They just keep splitting so well. Like, you got the leash duration. It seems like it's done something when he first picked it up, but since then, how many leashes have we actually seen from Slark that control up Team Secret?
It's like so punishing too, because they don't have the reach to catch Secret's heroes once they're able to retreat those few units. And if Secret have proven time and time again, look, you can't fight us with no tomb and no wards. Shit, you can't beat us when you have those big team fight area control spells down on the ground.
It would make more sense if you had like the ability to pull them all in together. Like the Axe can't do that. He can get a blink call onto one and seems to just go for it. Now Team Secret, they're coming forward as well. They've still got the Aegis Immortal in the hands of Nisha. They want to try and get some counter mid-racks, but maybe hasn't prepared it yet. He's pushing the bottom lane instead, while Nisha's clone attacks through. FY can at least control it.
And the disrupt too. The siege is so easy.
Laser it. Get rid of the damage. Just bounce that laser through. This is the counter at least. Give the miss chance, but Tier 3 tower is down. Secret can now look towards just killing off the shrines, remove the outer positions of LGD.
Exactly, and that's so critical when you're playing against the Tinker. And you can see Secret, they take that as a win. Their objective was just the Tier 3, because this means that no longer will Tinker be able to actually play aggro on map without friendly creep waves.
Yep. Even the next Roshan, you start looking at like refresher orbs, like refresher shards, anything like this. Like this is what Team Secret want to ensure LGD do not get, because that's where their danger could be. FY, he's sending the courier out to buy the upgraded wards. That's what he's looking for, the point booster. And if he can get a refresher shard, there's a win condition then for LGD.
Yeah, and they have the Tier 3 down as well. So all of a sudden, you drop double wards and tomb on the Tier 4s. I don't know if Secret, you can't retreat from your throne. You've got to defend that. And that's what PSG.LGD are waiting for. Just that one fight. We saw it in that dire bottom Tier 2 area. They just need one fight.
Well, Chalice may have a better chance of surviving. No proc, he went for the health regen. Just try and stay alive in these engagements.
It's just so difficult. Now that the shrines are dead, look at the Arc Warden's threat. Mid lane, already into where the Tier 2 died, and you have a clone and a hero pressuring the side lanes. Secret, playing in the blind forest of LGD. They have no idea where these heroes might be, yet they're constantly feeling the threat of these lanes coming in.
It's meant to be the opposite way around. Like the fact that Ame is walking around with a stolen gem, he's got Puppy's gem.
Yeah.
But still, Team Secret, they're the ones controlling the map. They don't have the gem anymore, like they haven't bought a fresh one. But it doesn't matter when you know where they're going to be. Inside the base, this time, there is more of a prep from maybe. The March Machine's wave is down, they'll burn the pipe. Nisha just sends his clone up as they beat for another Tier 3 tower. Shackles, wow, Zai just goes in. FY, he needs to get these mass serpent walls down and get further away, but the ship will connect. He gets nothing down at all. And with no buyback available, Team Secret will now take the Tier 3 tower and look for more. Right now, Tinker is kind of killing himself on side. And they're killing Tinker! Down! That's the game! Really? You've got no defense! They're so strong! Army's trying to do as much as he can, steal as much as the bubbles are there, and that's what protects Zai. That's what protects all of Team Secret. They'll not only take the bottom rank, they'll take the mid, and if they want to, probably the game, if they can find one more pick. Slark and Axe, how do you even stop this?
You don't, Toby.
They're going Tier 4s. They don't want the second racks. Secret want to end it now. They want a 2-0. They want a winner's bracket final. And everything looks like they're going to get it. Zai, defensive disruption, saves his life and blinks away. He wants to help out by killing Chalice. Careful of the blade melt. They'll wear off. He just waits for the stomp. They find the kill. This really is it. It is so far deep in the bag. You can't even see it anymore. It's in the shadows. Team Secret, they own this game.
This was such an incredibly impressive performance. If you couldn't win this game against Secret as PSG.LGD, I don't know if you can win a game against them, Toby.
GG, and it's called. Team Secret have made it to the KL Major Winners Bracket Final, securing top 3 at the Major, and LGD had glimmers of hope in this game. It looked good for them, but the sharp play that we've seen from them during the group stages and in this tournament so far, it whittled away under the pressure of Team Secret.
It was flawless. That way they executed that high ground dive, like they identified, look, we're jumping for Rasta or Tinker. First they find the Rasta. That lures maybe in, he's trying to help out FY, and all of a sudden,